Having fun with those rings? So, project time. He's still awake. Not gonna work on it now because it'll be too noisy. But we're gonna do some upgrades here in our little man nook, our man corner. I love this thing. This TV is great. This setup is pretty awesome. The only thing I hate about it is that it takes up quite a bit of space, and I'm trying to just consolidate. I want to get some of my tools out of here, out of this corner. I want to try to start getting rid of stuff in this corner, even though the shoes are still a huge problem. I'm gonna get stuff out of here, and I want to put it in there, but I don't want to lose this thing, and I really like this thing. So your boy had a genius idea. Bunk beds. We're gonna put it on top of the desk. There's plenty of room in the ceiling, so why not? It's gonna be like a gaming bunk bed. It's gonna be the most amazingest thing ever, I think. I'm super excited actually to do this. I actually went ahead and picked up some lumber the other day, just about 10 sticks, a 2x4. That's pretty much all we need. I got some hangers. I might not need them. Full box of screws because I used up all my free screws. Finally had to buy screws. That's pretty good. So let's talk about the design. So I have it roughly sketched out here. There's going to be no legs on the bottom, no triangles, no nothing. I would feel safer with triangles, like the triangles we have on our shoe rack or something like that. But then it's just going to turn it into like a cave because it's going to be 4 feet wide, 6 feet long. So there's going to be a ledger in the back against the wall that these joists are going to sit on. And then what's going to hold the outside part, so the part furthest from the wall, is going to be just a couple sticks going straight to the ceiling. And then that's going to be held with a strong back. So a strong back is a really, really, really strong way to put two pieces of wood together. I usually use it to hold up ceilings. But the reason why I'm going to do a strong back, and it looks like this. So this is basically a 2x4 on edge with a flat 2x4. And this is the ceiling up top right here. And what you do is you drill screws into this board, that's into this board, and then you screw in this board to the ceiling joist, and it makes a really strong contact point. And these rafters are gonna screw directly onto here like so, and they're gonna go straight down like that. And that way we'll have at least 3 to 4 screws in here, and then we maybe put some steel on there just for, peace of mind. Probably not going to need to. It should be plenty strong enough to hold everything with this ledger back here. Everything's sitting on a ledger versus, you drilled into the wall. It's just going to be stronger, or even hangers. I feel like ledgers are way stronger than hangers. So that's what we're going to do. And then what we're going to have to do so these boards don't roll is we're going to just put some blocks in there in between. Maybe the full run. I haven't decided. That's a lot of lumber to do it the full run, but it shouldn't be too bad. So we got and the ceiling's gonna be 4 foot, so this is gonna be 4 foot as well, this up and down. So we got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, at least 10 pieces of 2x4, and then a 6x4 sheet of plywood, which we have a full sheet back there. A couple issues that we're going to run into, and I already foresee, is this right here. The edge of this chair is basically 37 inches. So we got another 10 inches almost to reach out. So as you walk in here, you're gonna be ducking. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tighter. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna do that full 4 feet yet. I'm kind of just going to put a piece of wood up and see, how it is. It's going to be just short enough that I don't hit my head, meaning I said 4 feet from the ceiling down. It's actually going to be slightly lower than 4 feet. Just so that with shoes on, I'm not going to easily bump my head on it, because I'm going to be the one that's running through here all the time. My wife will bump her head on it, but I'm trying not to. But I'll make those changes as I go. If I go the full 4 feet, 4 feet from the wall over, or I cut it short to right about 36, 37 inches where this chair is, which will give me a much cleaner path. Or I could just move my bike. It's probably just do the 4 feet and move the bike. With this out of the way, that we're going to have a much easier time to walk in here. before we do anything, we're gonna clean up this desk and get going. First board to go up is the ledger. I ended up inching it by 2 inches, so I missed the stud on the far left side, and I had to cut it and redo it. But no biggie, I was able to reuse that piece of wood later on the build. Got our ledger in place. We still got to screw it in. It's 70 inches long, a little longer than I was intending. Kind of made a mistake there. I don't know how I inched the line on the not level stud finder. So we're just gonna screw this into place, and then next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go up top, and I believe we're gonna do 36 inches. I'm actually gonna double check that, and then we're gonna do our strong back up top, 36 inches. And we're just gonna run it long. We're gonna do a full 8-footer. We're not even gonna mess around. We're just gonna eyeball it so we have room to play. So this is not gonna be cut down. We're gonna do a full 8-footer and then go from there. Part was the hardest part, would be an understatement. Not only is it super difficult to find joists, but having your arms up in the air for this long is terrible. I definitely had a hard time doing it, but I was able to get it done. Perseverance always wins. And the Stud Buddy is a great tool. Definitely something every DIYer needs in their toolbox is the Stud Buddy. It's just a magnetic thing. It finds the screws for your drywall, and that's where your studs and joists are. Now it's time to add the board on edge for the strong back. I went ahead and pre-drilled a bunch of the screws onto the face of the board just so I didn't have to fight with it up top, but then I ended up angling them a little too close to the wall, so I did have to fight a couple of them a little bit, but this was way chiller than the last part when we put the flat board on top. That was pain. That's a strong back, aka shoulder workout. That's done. And the legs that I showed you are gonna come off the outside of that. Next, I went ahead and just put these full length boards on top, just tack them into place so I can figure out the distance from the outside of the strong back to the inside of the ledger. This was on the fly kind of design. Technically I could have measured it, but that's to assume the wall is plumb, so I went ahead and attached these legs. So I got these legs sticking down. This is just for mock-up, so I can get this ledger height situated on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run a board on top, sit on here, across like that, boom, and then that's gonna get my distance on both sides, and then I'm just gonna build around these braces and go from there. But I have my measurements because of those legs. I can cut the ledger and the joist for the gaming loft, and I'm gonna use the miter saw today just because it's always gonna cut a square edge. And if you use a skill saw, you know, I can pretty good, but I want a square edge. It's just better to have square edges, especially when you're doing this kind of work. Ledger, joist, ledger. I don't even know what you call these anymore. That's a ledger. This is technically a ledger. These are joist. We got them all cut. 38.5 inches, which will make our span from this edge of the board to the wall 40 inches exact. After prepping layout, just got to put some screws in. I went ahead and used a clamp to hold the board in place. I should have used a scab, but yeah, I should just use a scab. Next time I do this, I'm just going to use a scab. This was stupid. A very poor angle, but what I'm doing is I'm putting the permanent legs on that go from the top of the ceiling down to the joist. Still sleeping. Wow. All right. We got the temps off. Now I'm just gonna flush cut these things because I don't want to hit my head on there. And we're pretty much done. We're gonna put some blocks in place. I'll sand it down. Oh, that's ugly. The blocks are in place now. Got lucky on those. So there's studs on the edges, so those blocks, flat blocks, are on the stud, and then the joist on the sides are drilled into that, so they won't twist out. I should probably put another screw on that bottom end because I can see the wood kicking up. Last thing I need to do is I'm going to put this last center brace up, same as the other ones, and that's pretty much it. We just sheet it with plywood, and then we start figuring out how we're gonna set the TV in here. I didn't videotape cutting the sheet of plywood, but I did. It's 70 and 5/8 long at 39 and 7/8 wide. It's actually a little short. This thing's actually pretty perfectly square almost. So it should fit just fine. Let's go install it. Should be pretty simple. And then we're gonna put a couple ties in. We got these hangers that I got for this for the inside, and then these are technically not meant for this, but you know, I think we're still good if we just use them. It's fine. It wouldn't hurt. They're only gonna make it better. But I do want to get some metal straps for top side. I want to go Home Depot, see what options they have. I was thinking about using these flat brackets and bending them, but that might be more work than it's worth. So I might just go to Home Depot, spend like $5, $6 or something on some ties up there, and that way I can just feel a little bit more comfortable about having that. Next thing we have to do is secure the plywood, and we're good to go. There you go. It's a little cattywampus on the plywood. Oh man, got a bit of a growth in here. Ooh, look at that. That is not pretty. No one's gonna see that. That's the corner of shame. Considering how I just did it, I just fucking just wung it. It's not too bad. Not too bad. I definitely, if I had measured all four corners, I could have cut the plywood in a better shape to fit better. But you know what? It's sturdy. I feel very comfortable up there. It's take a view. It's way sturdier than the desk because I was standing on the desk to build it. This is a robust structure, to say the least. So this is it. TV's gonna go right here. Chair is gonna be right here. In the worst case scenario, we'll use it for storage, but all that stuff is somehow gonna go up here, but we'll save that for another video. So that this one doesn't take too long. Till part 2. I'm gonna do some finishing stuff to this probably by then. Definitely want to put some metal on here, some type of metal. I'll look at Home Depot, see what the options are, or I could just brace off here like that, and I might put some diagonals coming from the wall over here. There's really no movement in this thing, especially now with the plywood, but it wouldn't hurt to have a little bit more contact to spread the load. Thanks for watching. It's pretty warm up here considering we are at the very top of the garage, and the garage is the hottest area already. But we got the mini split there, so we can just point that thing straight and blow cool air up here. But I'm gonna go ahead, up, down, clean up a bit. Pretty happy, pretty dang happy. Happy. I am sweaty and I stink.